Thinking about an ex is normal, but obsessing over them, not so much. There's no rule saying that you can't talk about your past in a healthy way, but it should be mentioned as just a matter of fact and not as a lingering force that still has power over how you feel or approach relationships in your present or future. If your short or long-term relationship ended, you've been rejected or ghosted, perhaps gone through a divorce, or even escaped an abusive relationship, it can be a lot on anyone to take on. For most of us, it hurts, and ending things can be very painful if you sincerely cared and weren't prepared for such outcomes. However, once things end, it's not about us anymore, it's about you. You need to shift the focus to you and make sure you're doing what you need to do to heal and love you first, and in some cases, find yourself again. So are you over your ex? Let's talk about it right now. I'm Izabel Liwo, and this is Alive and Living 360. Breaking up or ending things with someone you care about hurts, but it's over for a reason. Perhaps it's timing, it wasn't meant to be, or your partner who ended things wasn't emotionally mature or available, and it has nothing to do with you. All I can say is most times if you have to force it, it means the universe is not in alignment and perhaps it wasn't the relationship for you. If you're meant to be at all, that person will find their way back to you naturally. But there's no need to force anything or wait on anyone because if it's written in your destiny, it's sure to happen when you're both aligned and right on time. All in all, everyone heals at their own pace. So don't self-judge or judge the process negatively. If you've ever been through any form of rejection or breakup, it can be a process accepting things for what they are and then healing from how it impacted you once you get over your pride or ego being bruised. So don't be too hard on yourself. Instead, be patient, but do the work to heal and grow so that you don't repeat toxic cycles or bring any emotional imbalances to future connections. Essentially, your goal should be to find peace with your reality of no longer being with that person. You know you're securing yourself about your breakup when you decide to move on with your life and not wait around for someone who's unsure about you or was disrespectful to you, your body, or your feelings. You're also secure at peace when you view them ghosting or rejecting you as God's protection or a blessing and not necessarily as a bad thing, but perhaps the pathway to the one. You'll know you're over your ex or at peace when you don't feel the need to be connected to them somehow. See if they're online or watch their stories on social media. Another way to know is if you're genuinely like, next, there's more fish in the sea, as opposed to viewing them as your everything who was supposed to be your forever or as your last hope. You're probably over your ex if they reach out to you and you don't acknowledge their text or call. It doesn't stop your world or it doesn't shake you up like it used to. Now, if they reach out sincerely, I don't believe in ignoring people. I get it, to each their own, but acknowledging doesn't mean you even want them back. It's just human decency. We're all God's children, even if we've made mistakes, and sometimes forgiving and letting go is your lesson. If they were abusive or toxic to you, however, that's a hard no. Do not open the door even for communication from such people who consciously chose to harm you, because they'll most likely do it again and worse. Running away with my life literally and surviving my abusive ex who punched me repeatedly while I was driving on the highway was enough to stop communication completely, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was just that one time, but it was enough for me to never look back. He tried several times for the next 2 years to reach me, but I gave him absolutely no access because my peace of mind and safety is everything. Yours is too. This is the first time I'm sharing any detail of my experience publicly, but if you want to hear more, I don't mind if it'll help someone else get out of a similar situation. Stay strong. Love isn't meant to destroy you. If your breakup was painful, healing is paramount for starting something new that is healthy. Some people believe that the best way to heal is to get up under someone else by entering a new relationship heartbroken. It's not impossible, but it's risky and selfish to expect someone else to be the reason for your healing and happiness again. Simply because if that relationship collapses as well, you'll likely collapse with it because you entered it broken anyway. Healing and becoming whole is internal and is your own responsibility that should not be done at someone else's expense. Lastly, you're in a good place if you're actively engaging in self-care and going on dates with yourself again, treating yourself the way you deserve or would like a partner to, rediscovering yourself, your boundaries, or by embracing the new you for you, not because you're trying to prove anything, but just simply for you. A lot of times we point the finger and talk about how a potential ex was emotionally unavailable because they didn't know who they were or are lost. What about you? What are those 3 fingers pointing back at you, showing you about you? Do you know who you are? Are you emotionally available? We typically attract what we are to a degree. Maybe the old you or the person who was in that relationship or went through that traumatic experience is expired. I mean, that's okay. A lot of times a flower can still bloom, even if it's been stomped on or disrespected by someone they thought was potentially the one, worthy of their time and dedication or their everything. If you're experiencing peace with any of these examples I've given today, you're on the right track to something better, whether you're single or taken tomorrow. Remember, hurt people, and if you're whole moving forward, you'll find happiness, and more importantly, you'll attract what you are, wholesomeness, someone who is whole too and is ready to love you for who you are at the core and all of you. Yeah, that's amazing.